Welcome to this week's episode of Resource PNG. Now this week we speak to the Managing Director of Mineral Resources Authority, Mr. Philip Samar, on Wafi-Golpu's recent SML application. Take a look. The mining industry in Papua New Guinea recently witnessed another achievement with Wafi-Golpu Joint Venture, WGJV, registering a Special Mining Lease application with Mineral Resource Authority. The application now triggers several activities by a wide range of stakeholders. Resource PNG had the opportunity to speak with Mineral Resource Authority Managing Director Philip Samar. We began our discussion with what the SML application meant for the mining industry as a whole. This application by Wafi-Golpu is the second received this year, a landmark achievement given current low world metal prices.
You know, back in June, Frida came in, June this year. Frida came in with the application for a mining development lease, and just last week Wafi came in with theirs as well. So we've never had that opportunity before, seriously. In the last 40, never. Right? Panguna's come and gone, Lihir's come and gone, Pogara's come and gone, Oktedi's come and gone, Ramu being the latest, and you know, after a decade after Ramu, we now have Frida coming in, and as if though that's not enough, Wafi's followed, you know, 2 months apart. So very exciting times, but you know, it is an opportunity, and it is a reflection of the times. Of course, we're being in the press for all the wrong reasons. Commodity prices down, countries running out of foreign exchange. We're not bringing in enough. However, this, I think, holds the country in good stead, and it is a positive sign for us.
With a capital injection of close to 9 billion kina, the Wafi-Golpu project certainly looks set to inject much-needed revenue into the country's economy.
The injection of the capital itself into Morobe as a province is going to be something that province has never experienced before. We have Hidden Valley. Hidden Valley is a small, medium-sized operation. So with Wafi, that's going to be huge. And you know, for Morobe, talking about Morobe as a province, I think, you know, it is incumbent on them to position themselves to benefit from this. In terms of the PNG as a whole, I think that's something we've been needing, and particularly so in the last 3 to 5 years. And that $3 billion into Wafi is actually the capital expenditure, and that's for constructing the mine, and so that's over a period of what, 4 years after the grant of the SML. So that is significant.
The SML application now triggers several activities, among them the all-important development forum, critical for people who will be directly affected by the proposed mine. This will be a multi-stakeholder approach involving various government agencies.
The MRA's role is going to be a busy one, given the fact that I have to now multiply by 2. We've started, or we are 2 months into the assessment for Frida. Okay, so from June, late June, when Frida submitted, up until as we speak, that's what, 1.5 months. So within 2 months, and we've been attending to providing the technical assessments on that proposal for development. So Wafi's just come in last week, so the same treatment will be accorded to Wafi. We will go through the motions of ensuring that that proposal is in order, and then bringing in the state team to then provide guidance to the government on aspects of that proposal for development. We play a facilitation role, which means that, you know, the proponents come in. The Frida proponents, the Wafi proponents, they come in, they lodge their special mining lease applications. The MRA then approaches government in terms of, hey, listen, this one's come in, and within the proposals for development themselves are, you know, aspects like the environmental aspects. The MRA does not directly deal on environment. That's a separate rail that runs parallel to ours. Yeah? That's for SIPA to attend to. So apart from environment, there's the business aspects, business development. That belongs to commerce. So what the MRA does is that we pull out sections of the proposals for development that deal with business and business incubation, the company's business approach and all of that, and we then hand it over to the Commerce Department. So as I speak to you, the Commerce Department has freed us. We are in the process of doing the same for Wafi. Yeah. And so we involve Commerce Department, we involve the Labor Department because of training aspects. We involve national planning because of the planning purposes. Yeah. And of course we involve Treasury. And the government needs to take up a 30% equity in this project. So the numbers and the model, financial model, all of that is provided to Treasury. The MRA plays this coordination role, and then we try and bring all of that together into one government position, and that's in the form of an NEC submission that then we put forward through the Minister for Mining to NEC, and then NEC then makes a decision based on that advice on the grant of the SML or otherwise.
Mr. Samar points out that what is important is that the various agencies do their roles diligently before a recommendation is provided to government.
The MRA's process can be completed in 6 months, okay, under 12 months. However, the mining lease cannot be granted unless the environmental permit has been granted. That's key to this. So even if I finish up on what work MRA needs to do, we will wait until the environmental permit has been granted, and then the mining lease will be granted. So yeah, it could take anything between, in terms of the totality, the total process, yeah, it could take anything between 6 or 8 months to 18 months, all in, I would say, 2 years. I would envisage that we would be in a position to bring to government the full assessments on them, and to position government on permitting these 2 projects.
You're watching Resource PNG. We'll be back with more after these messages. Welcome back to Resource PNG. Now, over the past few months, Frida River and Wafi-Golpu have both applied for special mining leases with the MRA. Now, according to Managing Director of MRA, Philip Samar, this goes to show the level of investor confidence in the mining industry in Papua New Guinea despite tough economic times. With Papua New Guinea now on the verge of several new mining projects, there have been concerns from various sectors of community arguing that too much emphasis is being placed on rushing the development of these mines. Resource PNG put these concerns to MRA Managing Director Philip Samar.
Seasonal business, when the market is right, yeah, that's a time to do business. Yeah, you will not develop a project, when the market's not great. Yeah, and these projects have a time frame of their own. Wafi's come a long way, and so is Frida. Both projects have been way back, 30, almost 40 years, from the time of discovery up until now they developed. You can't pack any of this and say, oh yeah, thanks for having come this far. Why don't you wait and I permit one, and I'll stop that one and permit you. Recipe for disaster. Yeah, so no, it's difficult to deliver it within our sector. That's not how it's run. Yeah, these projects come on stream. When they come on stream, we develop them. Yeah, putting them on, packing them in a parking bay is not for our sector. We need to develop them because they're ready for development. But again, hey, that's a policy decision to be made by government. If in the government's wisdom, the MRA receives instructions that hey, listen, we might need to park one of these and that. We'll see what advice we can provide to government. But as I speak to you, these two projects are priority for government. I have instructions from government to move and fast track the approvals process for these two, and to position government so that the government can take a decisive decision on developing these two mammoth projects. We all recognize and realize that these two projects are needed right here, right now, for the country. And they come on the back of the LNG project, and so it can only be good for us. I think, and if I may just extend that, I think what the public perception is concerned about is in the government's management of these projects. Yeah, so, well, look at us, we're floating on, we were floating on oil, now we are floating on gas, and and still buttressed and supported and held up by mining.
Mr. Samar adds that revenue from mining projects should be managed well and invested into renewable resources. He says the government has now found the right formula, particularly with the STARS program, which has an emphasis on the renewable resources, particularly agriculture and environment.
Again, the public has I can agree with their perceptions. It is for government, for us to translate that into sustainable, viable, complementary outcomes. For example, the outcome, the income from mining, where is it going? If it's going to pay for high-risk investments, then we got to rethink our strategy of developing mines. Yeah? If it's going into sustainable industries, tourism, agriculture, that's the way to go. My view is, we need to come up with a plan that sees that out. The government has delivered these tasks in a policy. Yeah, our new blueprint for sustainability. I think that's a great initiative. And if the proceeds from mining, a portion of the proceeds from mining can go into supporting the sustainable industries, particularly the primary industry, I think we'll go a long way. That's a blueprint for success, not the other way around. The last 3 years have been terrible. Yeah, the exploration sector particularly has dried up, and 2012 up until now, there's been a 30% downturn actually within the exploration sector. We've recently, as far back as 12 months ago, so in 2015, the numbers are picking up. Yeah, and our numbers now indicate a resurgence in the sector. We've had increased applications that have come in. The numbers actually reflect that. Back then in 2012, the mining contributed 7 billion approximately. Yeah, our numbers to date from 15 and our media numbers from this year, June 2016. Yeah, hover around 9 billion kina. And that's a significant turnaround within a 1 year period. From 2012 up until now. Yeah.
It has been a difficult period for the mining sector in Papua New Guinea, particularly within the exploration front, which has seen a significant decrease in activity since the highs of 2012. But according to Mr. Samar, the situation is gradually improving and there is optimism within the industry, something which has not been seen in some time.
We're excited by that, despite all the negativity, but I think there's a resurgence, and we can only commit to ensuring that is maintained. Yeah. As you are aware, the revisions to the Mining Act are now with Parliament. That's a decision for government to take. The MRA itself is positioning itself to ensure that we have the technical expertise to be able to push these two projects towards permitting approvals. We are also ensuring that the mineral base of the country is further diversified. Gold, copper, been around forever. Ramu came in, added nickel and cobalt. Other projects have, other elements in them as well. And so part of that increase in exploration activity recently is as a result of other companies coming in and looking for other minerals, manganese, for example. We need to get there. And the MRA has already set the foundation for that. We are diversifying our mineral base so that we don't have to be crippled when, the price for gold and copper only run on nickel, run on coal, run on other minerals. Over the next 18 months, the MRA will be partnering. We already have MOUs with the Indonesian Geological Survey, also with the China Geological Survey, also with the Korean government, and we will be embarking on those MOUs within the next 18 months to add more value, add further value to the mineral prospect of PNG.
You're watching Resource PNG. After the break, we'll take a look at what's been making headlines in Resource News. Welcome back to Resource PNG. Time now to take a look at what's been making headlines in Resource News. Coffee-growing parts in Morobe like Boana, Menyamia, Bulolo and Kabum are all producing high yields after last year's drought. Lay's CIC office has issued instructions to farmers to give time before new bags are brought down to Lay because storage facilities and mills are crowded. The office has been actively doing its part to ensure quality of export beans going overseas.
This year after the drought has been an increase in terms of production, and it's been also a good yield after the drought.
Senior Quality Control Officer Rose Romalu says with the increased number of coffee bags coming in, storage will have to be managed to ensure there is no moisture in the coffee beans. Moisture ruins the bean quality.
Our greatest concern, especially for the coffees, are staying too long before processing, because the higher the moisture levels in the beans and the more they stay longer in the bags, definitely there'll be some quality issues.
In 2011, the number of coffee bags exported exceeded 1 million. This year, it's likely to happen again, according to statistics. But Lay's CIC office needs to be maintained, and a new coffee mill needs to be built for the Morobe people by the Morobe provincial government. A proposal has already been given by CIC to the provincial government.
The Gobe landowners met today in Port Moresby to express their dissatisfaction over almost 18 years of waiting for impact projects in their communities. They ended their petition 2 weeks ago but received no response from authorities.
To date, we have not got any tangible infrastructure development in the area on Gobe. The oil has now depleted.
For this landowner group who are within the 5 project sites of the oil and gas project, they say the government process has again failed the landowners through the landowner identification process.
This letter all cost me blah, Kotigo come. You know what one blood reason? Because all man to grand blamina, all no identify him. Papa ground on this blood time now, he prolong him live bloom on today.
In the 4-page petition presented to the government, the leaders want the clan vetting process be finalized, including the ADR process, so IDG funds are dispersed for projects earmarked in the agreement signed in 1998.
Inogat 17 lo sembrigi, airstrip, place balus, school, housing, inogat through. Anta blotisla planti man meri die. Or leaders planti or die.
They claim an outstanding amount of 50 million kina was supposed to be paid to them. However, to date, only 5 million kina was released. The Gobe land owners have no intention to stop operations in the 5 project sites, but want the government to address their petition. Works and Implementation Minister Francis Awesa visited the small town of Kiunga this week to announce these 3 major projects for the Kiunga people. The visit was purposely for Prime Minister Peter O'Neill. However, Minister Awesa attended on behalf of him.
Prime Minister is unable to make it because he must ensure the supplementary budget goes through.
For many who attended the program, their concern was to air the lack of consideration the government has shown, despite Oktedi Mining contributing endlessly to the national purse. But Minister Awesa assured the Western people and the levels of government that the projects will be tendered and first phase of construction should commence.
We have to list the profile of the interest of provinces like Western, which have been neglected for quite a long time.
An initial funding of 300 million kina will cover the construction of Ningarum Oktedi Bridge, Dreamgas Fly River Bridge and the upgrade of Kiunga District Hospital. While visiting the Kiunga Health Facility, a local says health services have been poor, with people in rural areas being affected most.
It was down to administration, corporate. Got all big man come down low, big line now, looking something explaining good now, bring themselves.
Prime Minister Peter O'Neill will be visiting Kiunga soon for the groundbreaking ceremony for the 3 projects.
And that ends this episode of Resource PNG. As always, if you'd like to get in touch with us regarding anything on our program, email us on the address now showing on your screen. For all the latest updates on the resource sector in Papua New Guinea, check out our Facebook page. To view this edition online, log on to the EMTV website where you will find a link to the Resource PNG page. Now until the next time, pleasant viewing. Bye for now.